Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're watching from. My name is Ibared Mbasi, and today I will be showing us a few things about the M365 Admin Center. The first thing we're doing is I'll be showing you how you can access the M365 Admin Center if you have been assigned an administrative, and I'll also show you how you can create a user. Basically, that's what the scope of this video will cover. In subsequent videos, I can show you exactly how you can sign into a new user that was created, how you can access features your account. Let's get right into it. First thing first, I'm going to go to your browser. I'm using the Chrome browser. Type office.com. Now, for me, I've already signed in, so that is why I am having this. But if you are not signed in, you'll be given a pop-up where you have to sign in. Let me quickly show you what that will look like in the new incognito window. Come in here and I type office.com, and I'll be shown to sign in, an option to sign in. When I click on this, I'll be instructed to input my username and my password. Whatever authentication measures I had enforced will also be activated, and I will be able to sign in. So since I've already signed in, I'll just go ahead and do what I need to do with my other browser. So I've been signed in here, and this is one of the ways you can access the M365 Admin Center. When you're here, you can come down to the bottom left hand corner where my mouse is and click on Admin. When you click on Admin, loading, it takes you to M365 Administrative Center, where you can access your users, your teams and groups, the marketplace, the billing setup, and you can also get to see other admin centers by clicking on show. Another way you can also access your M365 Admin Center by coming to your browser, typing cmd.ms. Do not forget cmd.ms. Click on enter. Come in here. When I come down, what this command does is it gives us a list of the admin center of every single admin portal of every single application. Are you tired of clicking around in Microsoft portals to get to a blade? Use the power of your browser's address bar to quickly get to your favorite bar blade in Azure, M365, Entra ID. So this is one of the ways you can come in. By also can just click on M365, Microsoft 365 admin, and it will take you excuse me, directly to where I was initially. So those are the two ways you can decide to sign into your M365 admin. So now what do I want to achieve here today? I want to show us how we can create a user and be done. So first thing first, come down to your users. You can click on your active users. You click on the active users, it gets to show you the number of users you have, the active users you've already created, and their domains, and then the licenses that have been assigned. Today, I want to just create a test user and show you how this works. So we can click on add a user to add a specific kind of user, or click on add multiple users to add multiple users at once. Click on the multi-factor authentication to actually enforce MFA for a user, as the case may be. When I click on add a user, I'll be asked to put in my first name. So I can say my first name is test1. The last name is test1 user1. After inputting the first name and the last name, when you click on the display name, it automatically captures your first name and last name. You can decide to edit it, but by default it comes here like this. So my username, I can use test1 at my domain. Now I have already added my domain to this M365 admin portal. Subsequently, in another video, I can show you how that can be done. And I'll be selecting my domain, which is basiltech.com. Then we can decide to allow it to automatically create a password for us and require the user to change their password when they first sign in. Or we can decide to untick this and give the user a password that we desire for him or her to sign into when they are coming into their admin, when they are coming into their signing into their account. For this, I'll click on automatic create a password and I'll require this user to change their password when they first sign in. And also decide to say, okay, when you automatically create a password, do not require the user to change in. What that means is that whatever password that is automatically being created is what the user will use to access his or her account. So I'll click on this and leave it by default. And I click on next. When I go to next, under the assign licenses you'd like the user to have, the select location for the licenses is very important. We have to select a location. So I'll just select Nigeria, I'll leave it at Nigeria. Then I can decide to assign a license. But you can also create a user without a license, which is not recommended. But for my user, I'll assign license. So I'll click on the Microsoft 365 E5 developer without Windows and audio conferencing license. Then when you're assigning a license, the applications that follow licenses. If I click on the apps down here, it lists the number of apps that follow this particular license that I am deciding to assign to my user. Now I can decide to assign this user a license, but take out a particular privilege. For instance, the Exchange Online plan too. If I take out this particular privilege, there are things that the user will not be able to get access to, even though he or she was being assigned the license. So I can just leave this the way it is in default and click on next. Now, the optional settings. Here, under the role, the user, the administrator access, I can decide to actually give this user an admin role. And what that simply means is that the user has an elevated privilege. So let's just go through some of the roles here that are listed here and see what they can do. Amongst the roles listed here, the highest, with the one with the highest permission, is the global administrator. If you come here, it says it has unlimited access to all management features and most data in all admin center. The global reader can view all administrative features and settings in all admin center. You can just read, but you can't change. But the global admin can read and can effect changes. Now we have the Exchange administrator that has full access to Exchange Online, creates and manages groups, manages service requests, and monitors service health. So there are a lot of licenses, and the licenses are assigned with respect to what you want the person to be able to do. Now, I want you to note that there's something called the principle of least privilege, in that when you're assigning a license to a particular individual in an organization, make sure that the license you're giving, the admin role you're giving to the person, is with respect to what the person wants to do. Do not give someone a privilege or an admin access that the person does not need. For instance, if you need someone to just be able to create users, assign users password, reset password, and the rest, what you need to assign the person is the user administrator role. There is no need going to assign the global admin role to such a person. That's an abuse of privilege because he or she does not need that role. So for my user here, I'll just decide to assign the user admin role to him or her. And then under the profile info, this is where we can get to fill in the job title, the department, the office, the phone number. We can fill in the mobile phone, the street address, the state. This is just details about the person that is being onboarded into the system. So I can decide to say, okay, what's the job title? Is a cloud infrastructure engineer or is a cloud engineer? Then for the department, let's say he's in IT office, you can select that. You can also impute the mobile number and what have you. Can impute the city. You can say, okay, he's in Lagos, and you can click on next. Now, when you're done with that, this gives you a summary of what you have selected: the display and username, the password, which is auto-generated and can also be edited, the product licenses, the roles, which is the user admin role, and the product profile info, which shows that the job title is the cloud engineer and the department is IT. So when you're done with this, you can decide to click on finish adding. And in no time, it will let us understand that the user has been added. So test one, user one added to active users. Now it can also reveal the username and the password of this particular user. When I click on show here, to show the password that was auto-generated, and we can sign in with this password to be able to carry out changes depending on what role or what admin access we gave to the user. So this is you can also decide to send an email to test user one. This email contains info about how they can use M365 apps to get their work done. This email will be sent from this email won't be include password information. You can also send an email to them and just test if their mailing system is working, depending on if you had assigned a license that has email. So thank you very much for your time. This is where we're going to be stopping the video today. Next time I'll come in and show you how we entered into the test one user one account and what he or she was able to do depending on the role that was assigned to him. Thank you and do have a lovely day. Bye.